Good morning, team. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on our YouTube channel. It is a new month, new quarter, new week, Monday, July 1, 2024. Already half of the year pretty much done. What a quick year it has been, actually. So 2024, so far so good in the stock market. Let's see what's going to happen next. Dow futures are up 51 points. Nasdaq's up about 61. S&P up about a quarter point, and the Russell's up about a quarter point as well, 2069. Dollar index is down 105.68. Yet the dollar yen is at its highest point since 1986, 161.34. Volatility index VIX up 3.38%. Yet stocks are green. Interesting. The dollar's helping, bringing up stocks 105.68, like I mentioned. 4.442 on a 10-year basis on the Treasury yield. So, you don't have everything working out for the stock market to go higher, at least in the terms of the macro. The VIX is not helping, yields are not helping, but the dollar is. Gasoline futures up 1.4%, $2.53. 82.07 crude oil. This would have been nice to have 3 weeks ago, but I digress. Gold futures are flat, 23.38. Silver, 29.58. Copper, $4.41, up 0.61%. Bitcoin futures are up 5%, 63,345. Thank you, dollar. 34.86, up 3% for Ethereum this morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about the market. Let's go to NASDAQ again, pretty much just kind of in this chop zone. 20,154. That's kind of my first breakout level. Then we could target 371, which is the highs that we saw on Thursday. If we break above 20,000, that'll give me at least an alert that we're getting some kind of momentum. We were at 20,021 overnight, 1 in the morning, and then we pulled back. So let's see if we get there. Take a look at the daily. I mean, there's not much to say. I talked about this last night on our recap video. So NASDAQ definitely a watch. Amazon, we have calls. We played calls last week as well. Let's go to the 4 hour. And you can see this top end of this here. We were looking for that retest and bounce. It bounced off the 20 on the 4 hour, but so far so good. There was a article on Amazon from the Wall Street Journal. We tweeted talking about their AI implementation. That now that Amazon, I believe, is a trillion dollar company, $2 trillion company now. But we'll see if we get that momentum. We got near 200 last week to 199.84. It seems like that's going to be kind of your supply level, kind of the target moving forward. If you go by the last 3 years, you could see 189, 189 exactly, 188.94. That was the previous all-time high. I talked about this last night. Look at this chart and this chart. Netflix, same Fibonacci extensions. Amazon. How about this? MU. Yep. When it broke out of that 3 year, went higher. We'll go back to Amazon one more time. Again, you have that 100% retrace. Got the breakout. Guess who's next? Netflix. But Netflix, we need a little bit of a pullback to 661. If not, it's going to be very expensive. So if you're looking for a golden extension on Netflix, non-split, it's 1,033, by the way. And if you're looking for a non-split golden extension on Amazon, 255.39 would be the target. So there you go. Let's see. Again, the 200 is the target. Palantir was part of my watch list. It's getting pretty close. It was, and then it just pulled back right now. So again, it is 9 o'clock. We'll see if we get this break up 25.61. That's what I'm going to be staring at very closely. Tesla is another stock I'm watching very closely. NIO reported their deliveries, and I believe that beat and had a positive reaction on the stock. So again, we talked about this yesterday, about that wedge breakout. We got it last week. Take a look at the 4 hour. And again, we have a gap to fill at 206.58. So we're right at 201. Treat the deliveries numbers like earnings. So no point of getting in at this possible juncture unless you really are bullish on the stock and you're really bullish that we're going to fill that gap. I'd rather wait for the gap to break, see if we chop a little bit, and then we could target 230 because that is the trend line, or not really the trend line. It is a channel that we've been talking about really since April. If you guys remember, everyone hated the stock at 140. I was nervous myself that we would break 140 and get to 101, but we played calls and we've been really just talking about this channel the whole time. So again, 230. If we break above 206, we'll definitely play some momentum and play up to this channel here. So Tesla being on the watch board here. Nvidia, let's see it real quick. Nvidia just holding up, just choppy the past week. You got a nice pop from the Monday lows and then just nothing. So I don't know if that will change in terms of today, but we do know the next 2 weeks are the most bullish 2 weeks in terms of seasonality. So we will see if that works in our favor. Let's see if tech stocks continue to have the momentum higher, and we'll go from there. All right, let's answer some questions. Good morning, Mara. Mara is should be up this morning because Bitcoin's up. But look at this. Really since what end of beginning of May, 2 months, just chop. Not much there. So I think Mara has not much to do until you get above 23 or so. So again, I'm gonna skip that. Let's take a look at Coinbase. Remember we talked about this channel break and it's just been chopping as well. Let's take a look at BITO. Trying to find some Bitcoin proxies, basically. 22 at the moment. It is below the 200-day. That's what's kind of concerning here. So we expect, if anything, to get a little bit of a bounce. The 22 now. Let's see if we can break above 22.69. And there's a gap to fill here at 23.81. Remember, seasonally speaking, we talked about this last week's video, not this past weekend. The seasonality chart for Bitcoin isn't the strongest for the summer. So I think the only thing that we're getting is kind of that Solana ETF chatter. And that's kind of getting everyone excited for crypto again because Ethereum ETF, I guess, is being worked on. I think by the SEC or the Federal Trade Commission. I'm not really sure, or the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Board, or what have you. So again, nothing really yet on Bitcoin. It looks great. Don't get me wrong, at least today, but nothing has broken, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. That we don't get any alerts. It's a short week, guys. Thursday, the markets close for July 4th, Independence Day. So kind of treat it like Juneteenth when that was on a Wednesday. But this week is probably more closely to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. So kind of treat it that way. Wednesday, towards the tail end of the session, people are going to be sneaking out of the office to get started on their holiday if they have Friday off. But I will be here rocking with you guys. Let's take a look at IWM. All right. Anything here? Come on. Give me something. Nothing. Just nothing. This doesn't bode well right here. So I think there's better opportunities in the future side if you're trying to do R2I because you have more control. But IWM, not much there. If we were looking for a break, you got to get above 213. I know that's $10 away. Other than that, 195. So again, kind of the breaks of 213, 193. You got a $20 spread there. Not exactly a lot of edge. I hate to say. I talked about Mara. Let's talk about Disney. Inside Out 2, the movie, $1 billion in the box office. The fact that people are actually going to the movie theaters is a good sign. So Disney, I have alert here at 9807. Take a look at this. That is your 200-day moving average. And we've said it before, nothing really good happens below the 200-day. That was from Peter Lynch, actually. But looking at it here, 9888, we're bouncing above. Let's see if we consolidate and hold that. We got a couple of gaps to fill. You got an earnings gap for 110. We filled this one here, and you got a really ugly gap down here at 85. So the question really remains, do we hold the 200-day? Good morning, Capital. IWM calls. Yep, answered that, Cobra. Thoughts on JPM? What more can we say about JPM that hasn't been said? What a great company, right? Banks. 205.88 at the moment. It is at 203. I mean, you could target 205 calls, but I haven't done well with banks lately, so I'm a bit gun shy when it comes to that at the moment. But they did report that their stress test results were fine. They also reported um, higher buybacks and increased the dividend. So good sign for JPM. I'll keep an eye on the actual options volume out there. If there's something really juicy, so be it. We can do the 210s, maybe 208s if they're depending on what strike's available. But let's place an alert at 203.94, 204. That breaks the highs based on the 4-hour chart, and we'll see what we can get. Thoughts on, yeah, that's the 210. Yeah, I guess 210s. Just depends on the volume. Apple, get me above 216. We could target 220. That easy. I'm not going to get in earlier than that. BABA here long term. The problem is that these are China companies, and again, you don't have a lot of control and a lot of regulation the way you do have in the states, the United States. So again, BABA's not a horrible company. They make money. It's just the price action isn't the best. You're below the 20-week moving average, and look at this. It's just chop at the moment. So unless you're trying to really just buy on a really nasty dip like this, maybe you just wait for 70 or maybe 67. But the trend isn't there. It's also below the 200-day moving average. So again, if you're somebody that's going to be extremely patient with this name and you're very bullish on China in the future, Alibaba is your best bet. I don't think it's best to go here. If you start getting to COVID lows, let's take a look at some COVID lows. What level was that? That's the COVID lows, 2020. Oh, I wasn't here. Lows is right around 57. I guess right around 57. That's where it gets really compelling because it'll be so cheap relative to previous prices. So I put an alert there. If BABA comes to 57.64, hey, you want to throw a couple of bucks in there, buy a couple of shares. The saying goes, when you want to buy, you won't. When it's time to buy, you won't want to. How many names have been absolutely brutalized and have turnarounds? Target has had that. Um, Metaverse, my goodness, how much people hated Metaverse when they changed their name from Facebook, right? And that was brutalized, and that thing popped higher. Netflix was beaten down when they start. There's a lot of change. I remember when subscriber growth numbers. I think recently they're not reporting subscribers. Netflix took a pullback, and Amazon got a pullback. Remember when Apple wasn't exactly loved out there anymore? Tesla as well. We just talked about that. So, if BABA gets around 57, 58, okay, it gets compelling. But here, I think there's better options out there. Palantir is poised for a breakout, in my opinion. Yes, that is what I have the alert for. Let's take a look at it. 25.61. If that breaks, we just want an extra buck. Get me to 26.61, and that's it. We traded it last week, but really the main number is the 30s. The 30 level, which is 29.29, near there. From October of 2022, you could see the daily 27.5 is your watermark high. And again, you're looking for this weekly gap here at 31.38. That's kind of your longer term. Let's go ahead and make that our 12-month target, right? Remember, this stock is only 25 bucks, $31. That's probably your 12-month target on Palantir. Spy thoughts for today. The only concern I have is this is going to be chop because it is a holiday week. We've been here before, and this is not kind of showing us a lot of confidence right now. This just shows that it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We need some kind of break. That's what we want. So with Spy, get below 540, then it's compelling for a short. That's a $4 move. Get above 550, we can have a conversation about going long. I prefer to do ES, but Spy is fine as well. Same thing. Nike. Oh, 3-day rule in effect. Got beaten the hell down. Um, Very weak guidance, and you could see it. We talked about that trend line, but pre-Nike earnings. So 68.15, that's where it gets really interesting. Just like I just said with BABA, when it's time to buy, you won't want to, right? That was from Walter Deemer. Great book on technical analysis. 68 to 60 would be a really great level. Again, this will be the second day post earnings. So usually when you want to get into a stock after earnings, up or down, give it 3 days to kind of cool off. If you really want to buy in, there you go. Right now, Nike is trading at, I don't even know how much Air Forces are anymore, 105 bucks. So would you rather buy a pair of Air Forces, which I love, or a share of Nike? Nike's still a great company. They have brand awareness. I'm just going to say it. I think, in my opinion, if Nike and Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, if they can get some collaboration or some kind of partnership, and they have done it with different type of models, that'll get more of the luxury brand. But these companies make their own sneakers. Maybe Nike does something along the lines like they used to do with Apple, with tracking fitness and all that stuff. But Apple has their own stuff. So Nike's kind of, you think about it, what can Nike do to really bring more people in, right? We have the sneakers app. At the end of the day, you know, there's always that mentality of cyclicality. Cyclicals. Fashion is very cyclical. Jeans, clothes, and all that. Nike could be cyclical as well. Same thing with automobiles. So, what can Nike do moving forward? I mean, they could do share buybacks if they were. That would have been nice. I don't know if they did or didn't. I doubt it. But not looking good when you're near COVID lows. whole 3 years wiped out. So Nike has some searching to do. Maybe if they shake up the board. Who knows? Maybe there's a hedge fund manager out there who sees some value in this company. But I have a price target there at 68.15 to right around 60. If it gets there, again, just like Baba, it gets compelling. That's pretty much all you could say about this company, since just based on technicals, it's a complete breakdown of that trend. Not good. Not good. Let's see. SMCI. Now this chart looks a little better. Let's take a look at the daily. Now you could see this downward trend line, that triangle, and you're retesting it. You're now at 826, so you're back to right around here. I think you can hold here as long as you hold the 20. That's really the key point that you want, right where that trend line is. So this is going to be dependent if semiconductors still get that flow. Good news, July seasonality. Tech is going to be strong, usually. Again, not always. July has been a green month for the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow every single year since 2014. That's 10 years, guys. So we do have some data to back us up. The question is, does SMCI hold 800 or hold this 20? So let's kind of use 800 as our level. I think SMCI is fine. We do know semiconductors, how important they are to this economy now. And at least this trend line is holding up. It's just rather expensive. Maybe they do a split in the future. What's the 20 DMA on SMCI? That is, it is, let me see this, 828.12. 828.12. My apologies. So there we are. So again, temper expectations. Futures are not exactly gangbusters at the moment. It is a holiday week. So sit back, enjoy. I will be watching for you guys as you guys enjoy your holiday week. And if any changes happen, I will let you guys know. Make sure to take a look at our live market blog. All information and news will be posted on that Discord. We also have Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Have a great rest of your Monday. I will see you guys on the Discord. Cheers all.